What up, fam? Last chance you, Laney review. Let's get it, man. I'm gonna be honest, bro. Out of all the last chance you seasons, to me, this was the worst one. And the last season was pretty. The last season that ended was pretty bad, but I mean, it's some. It's a. To me, out of all these players, it's maybe two solid D1 players that was on the team this year. Coach Bean, as far as coaching personality, way down from Buddy and from the coach of Indy. I mean, he's more laid back and more about the game and more of what you used to a coach being. Which I like Buddy now, don't get me wrong. Cause Buddy don't pull no punches. Buddy will call you a front running son of a bitch. He'll let you know if you out there half-assing and he gonna give it to you. He ain't gonna bite his tongue. But the football level, man, it was the worst out of all the seasons. Like, the talent level just wasn't there, man. Like, it was like, I live in Louisiana, right? The high school football here was better than the football I seen on this season of Last Chance U. And, I mean, the talent level just, it wasn't there. It wasn't there. Now, the cornerback, the kid that's going to Oregon State, he was pretty good, man. Number 2. But he didn't play in nothing but like 2 or 3 games, you know what I'm saying? And he got hurt and he didn't really play no more after that. And, he had all the measurables. He's like 6'3", like 185. I mean, good ball skills. I mean, he used all his tools well, man. He's a legitimate D1 corner. He can play in any conference. I like the big Tongan kid, the lineman, man, because you could tell he's a family guy, and he's more mature for his age, and you can tell he's playing for his family when he's out there playing, because he's out there, he gets after it for a guard. My son plays guard in high school, and I like to pay attention to the linemen sometimes, man, and he a big guy that gets after it. He didn't get the offers I thought he should have got. But I think Alabama A&M offered him a full ride. I think he might need to think about taking that one. Ain't nothing wrong with HBCU football. Hell, especially if you're a lineman. Hell, Teron Armstead came out of Arkansas Pine Bluff. The SWAC is a good conference. Hey, if you could play, the NFL will find you no matter where you at. And the season was more focused on the housing crisis in California, to me, in Oakland, and how gentrification is forcing people that grew up in the community to be pushed out of the community. And I think that was pretty sad. I think people that grew up in the community, man, to see them just not even be able to afford to live in the community which they grew up in anymore, man. That's something that happens all across America now, man. And that goes back to the reparations deal with me. I feel like, man, y'all need to cut them checks, man. A 400-year head start, man. How the hell you think people could afford $3,000 and $4,000 apartments and shit like that, man? That's that generational wealth. They can afford to go live out in the Bay and the hills of California and wear glasses with no lenses and go to all these little micro coffee shops and dress funny and sit up and eat out with their friends and do all this old crazy stuff that working class people can't do. And I mean, I worked in petrochemical industry for 16 years, man. And I worked with some older guys, man, and some older black guys, and we would sit around sometimes, man, and they would have a lot of animosity, which I don't blame them, towards some of the younger white guys out there, because these guys feel like, man, I've been working hard all my life. I'm almost retirement age, and I still ain't paid for the house I'm living in. And you'll have a young white guy got a hunting camp. He got a house. You know, he got recreational property to hunt on and all that. He ain't even 25 years old, and these guys struggling just to pay for the home they living in. And they almost 65 years old, man, you know. But anyway, let me get back on subject. But like, they had this kid, Dior Walker, Scott, whatever. He's an athlete. He really was trying to play receiver, but he ended up playing quarterback for a couple games. And I mean, he's not a D1 talent. That kid dropped so many balls, you know. And I'm just talking about the football part of his story. You know, he had a strange relationship with his father in this season, man. And you see, like, you know, some of the loops, like, these young black kids have to jump through sometimes. Sometimes, man, when you got parents sometimes that's involved, it's worse than not having parents at all, man. These kids sleeping in cars, and your dad lives right in town. You sleeping in a car, y'all relationship so toxic. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's insane, man. That is insane. But, you know, it happens. It happens, man, you know. And the dad, I never really got his deal. I mean, you don't want to communicate with your son properly, and you don't want to deal with him properly, but you show up to all his games, man. It's like you coming to see him fail. You're not there to cheer him on, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's ridiculous, man. I just don't get that type of mind frame, man. Because I love my son, you know, tremendously. I would never root against my kid. And RJ, the other wide receiver, that kid, he's kind of like Carlos in the last season, not talent-wise. Carlos is tremendously talented in Indy. But he's like got some clock issues, his eligibility clock, because he had to sit out 1 year because he got injured. And he can catch, but he's not a burner, and he doesn't run his routes, you know how the coaches want him to run them and things. And he don't have many offers, you know. And some of these kids, man, you know, they kind of turn their nose up at D2 offers, man. If a D2 school offer you a full ride, you got to understand, everybody's not going to play in the NFL. If a D2 school offer you a full ride, man, get you an education and get you a head start on life debt-free. You know what I mean? Football don't last forever. It doesn't. And, you know, a lot of these kids, man, they don't really have any guidance, man. Or either they just not listening. You know, I ain't going to say they don't have. Some people might be talking to them, but from what I see, I don't think they have enough guidance. These kids just don't, they not listening, man. Like, man, if somebody offers you, I don't care if it's an HBCU or, hell, I don't care if the school's in Maine or if it's in Montana or what it is. If somebody offers you a full ride, I don't care how small the community is, man, you go take the full ride, you know. Because, like I said, besides the cornerback that's going to go to Oregon State, I think his last name was Wright. That kid is the only D1 talent, him and the Tongue and the lineman, you know, the Polynesian lineman, man. Those two really are the only D1 talents I saw, man. The rest of those kids, man, they'd be lucky to play in D3. And them just the facts. I'm just stating, man. They won a real good football team. They didn't make the playoffs. I mean, I think Last Chance U should have kind of stuck and found one of those other Mississippi schools and kind of tried to work with them. You know, maybe a Colin or something like that. They say this their last season of football, man. I think they could have went out better than this. I love the series of Last Chance U. I'm not a fanboy that's gonna say something good because I'm getting gifts and stuff from them. I hadn't received anything from them. I review the show because I like it, and I'm a football fanatic. You know, I ain't got on no t-shirts from them or nothing like that. I'm gonna be honest with you. This season was garbage. And, man, that's pretty much all I got to say about it, man. I'm going to leave it at that. Like and subscribe. Leave me your comments if you disagree. And, man, I watched the season twice. I binge watched it and watched it 2 times in a row, man. I'm just telling you what I think about it. Level of football was trash, man. I think they should have stayed in the South with it. And, you know, that's just my opinion, man. Peace.